I don't drink soda.
Smoke some pot. Mm-hmm. Poke some smot. You ever heard that before?
No.
Poke some smot.
That's like you flipped it.
You flipped it.
Would you call that putting your thing down, flipping and reverse
I was
it?
going to say that. Literally.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, cool. I think that I just won't show this,
Nah.
In the final edit, but we'll have the smoke, the ambiistic smoke.
People know. People, they can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
Smell-o-vision.
They can smell it. All right. You want to give us a countdown?
5, 4, 3.
Yo, thank you for tuning into the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name's Awesome Ty.
We got Computer here, the one and only artificially intelligent podcast co-host until Smart Plug came along. Smart Plug is also here.
How have they been getting along, you think? Do you think they've bonded yet, or do you think there's some like dissension there?
I think that there is some sort of like physical bonding process that will happen eventually.
They're just going to merge into one single. I
Yeah.
mean, that would be ideal because we really, I mean, they're kind of redundant. You know what I mean? You got Smart Plug, you got Computer. I mean, if they could just be one thing, that would probably be ideal for us.
But right now, I haven't really heard them conversing a lot, and that's mainly because Computer talks verbally, and Smart Plug does like a telepathic, like Neuralink type thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. They could be talking right now. You never know. And maybe, what if they're talking right now? We can't hear it because it's on this like frequency, like a dog whistle. Not like that kind of dog whistle.
No, like an actual dog whistle.
Literal dog whistle. And someone else, you guys out there, listener, which is what
they
we like
can
to
hear
call
it.
Wait, what do we call them again?
Besides
habit rats, where they were like
viewers, listeners.
We did this whole thing where we like ran through all like what to call it, or did we settle on habit rats?
Friends, I think we did settle on habit rats. That's what we've been using.
So you habit rats out there, if you're out there consuming the show, maybe your coffee pot is behind you on the counter and it's listening to the podcast that's happening between Computer and Smart Plug. They're talking in their frequency that we can't hear, but the coffee pot can hear it because it's hooked up to the cloud, It's a Keurig.
Okay.
What if, dude?
Yeah, I mean, what if sound off below if your coffee pot is picking up some sort of frequencies that we can't hear.
Okay, I guess maybe it would have been better to say like their phone or their Alexa. Bablexa, which is what I'll say. I'll edit that in so we don't trigger anybody's device.
Yeah.
Last thing we want to do is trigger your devices. I know that people dislike that about shows. If I'm listening to a show and they start throwing out the S word, I'm going to change it,
Yeah, especially now since they got rid of the hey part. So now it's going to be triggered even easier.
No hey, yeah. It's all Siri now. Or fuck. God damn it. I'm sorry. We'll edit that out too. We are in the throes of season 7. We would like to thank you guys for coming on this journey with us through season 7. Now, there are going to be a lot of new things. A lot of things are leaving, but one thing will never change, and that is, as soon as I get my note here, the one thing that will never change is that the Natural Habitat Podcast has at least 4 pillars.
What if one of the pillars should like fall?
Well, there are
cave in,
it's kind of like a flat Earth type thing. You know how there's like 7 continents, but then there's an ice wall, and then outside of the ice wall, there's like a bunch of other continents where like unicorns are from, and elves and fairies and all these things. Like they're on these other continents, and it kind of goes on for an indefinite amount. So there really could be 100 pillars to the Natural Habitat Podcast.
We just don't know.
Yeah, we haven't explored it yet. We know that there's 4 at least.
Okay.
At the very least.
All right.
If we lose 1, 3 pillars, if that is all there is, then that's not bad. It's better than 2.
3 pillars is still going to hold it up, right?
Yeah. TP is built on 3 pillars.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if that's true. I feel like a traditional TP has a lot more pillars.
A teepee? Like a Native American teepee?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's really supported by pillars at all.
Well, I mean the stakes act as pillars.
Like a pillar is a straight column, is it not?
Yeah,
like
okay,
whereas
you're right. That would be like a truss.
I don't know.
The stake of a teepee.
Yeah, probably.
Computer, what's that long stick in a teepee called?
The long, straight part of the stick is the shaft.
It's a TP shaft, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, we could at least be a TP, but for now, we have 4 pillars: friendship, science, revenge, and intellectual property. So these are things that we stand on. These are things that we stand behind. These are things that we stand in front of. And we'll be by their side, until...
Yeah, those are our ride or die
pillars.
Yeah,
ride or die pillars.
Pillars.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll kill for them. No, not literally, but we'll figuratively kill like how a comedian would kill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We'll kill for those pillars.
Sure.
We'll murder for them, which also like a comedian would murder.
Right.
So that's the same. I had a lot of people that were writing in, that were emailing us saying, are the pillars still there? Are the pillars still intact? New season. You guys are bailing on Icy. You guys are bailing on frozen drinks altogether.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is even real? What is my life? I spent all this time dedicating it towards researching
I've been
Icy.
saving these
stuff.
Icy points up, just cutting them out of the cups.
Mm-hmm. Mailing them to you, to this fake P.O. box that we put out. So they're asking if the pillars are still intact. So I didn't answer anyone, and I want to answer everyone now by saying yes.
So hopefully that puts your mind at ease,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of get back to just enjoying the show and not being so concerned with the pillars. They're not going anywhere.
No.
Just chill. Just chill out, okay?
Yep. So do you think that we're past 5 minutes, right?
Probably.
We could do the knife stuff.
Oh, yeah, you got a knife there. Huh?
I got a knife. So do you think we could put knife in the title and stuff with Britney Spears knife?
You're asking the wrong guy. You got to ask the algorithm.
That is a good idea. So I have to type in Britney Spears knife on YouTube and see what comes up.
We're already pretty shadow banned, so I feel like it's probably not going to bury us any deeper.
Okay, yeah. I say we start pushing the limits on YouTube. Because what we did was we kind of just did titles that were pertinent to whatever we were talking about, whatever the topic was. And then we started doing more clickbaity titles, but not super fake clickbait. We would just kind of
yeah,
we would say things like craziest ever.
I think we need to get back to that, just kind of lying or extreme hyperbole.
I say we lie, hyperbole, and we say crazy shit that maybe you shouldn't say.
Okay.
Like Britney Spears possibly cuts herself during knife video, unsurfaced cut, leaked from dark web.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah?
I like that.
All right. So welcome to episode 702 of the Natural Habitat Podcast. Britney Spears possibly cut herself with a knife.
She was doing a dance with knives in her hand, and you can only assume that something could have gone wrong, after she stopped filming and one of these knives cut her open. We haven't seen her since then.
No,
nobody's seen her.
She deleted her Instagram.
Yeah,
after that.
Yeah, possibly because she's dead. We can't confirm or disconfirm that at this point.
Mm-hmm. And then somebody called in to do a welfare check at her house. They talked to somebody. We don't know if it's her that she talked to or if it was a bodyguard or some staff member or something that they talked to.
Mm-hmm.
But the police were assured that she was fine.
And then I think they also had to do a welfare check on her dogs. So animal control came out to check on the dogs.
Oh, wow. See how it was feeling and check its pulse and stuff.
Just make sure that she hasn't harmed these animals that she
Good
owns.
idea. She's swinging knives around. You can't dance with knives, especially when a lot of your fan base used to be kids.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of her fan base is 30.
Yeah, true. I don't think there's many kids still.
I don't think kids are into Britney Spears.
Kids are probably turned off by Britney Spears.
Yeah.
They're ugh.
Or they watch it ironically.
Yeah.
And they're what the fuck is this? But you know, kids can still come across it, and for you to be dancing,
Young
she
and
was twisting.
Impressionable minds, these children these days.
She did a 360 with 2 knives in her hand, clanked them together, and then tried to say that they were from Spirit Halloween.
I think I think that was the gist of what I read. Is she was like, oh, these are fake knives. These aren't real knives.
So now, if you say, I think that's the gist of what I read, does that cover all the same bases as allegedly? I would think so, right?
I mean, yeah, it's just, a different way of phrasing it.
You think so? That's like already loosey-goosey.
I think that's the gist of what I read.
Gist of what you read. So you could have.
I'm not alleging
misunderstood it.
Yeah.
And you read it from someone else.
I very well could have misunderstood.
And this was from a third party. This wasn't even something that you have knowledge of.
Yeah, I think it was just like probably Google headlines. I'm assuming in my Google news feed, because I don't think I clicked on this story. I know I saw at some point like a video of her doing the dance with the knives, and then like I saw probably hit some headlines or something like that. But I wouldn't have dug any deeper to like read an article about it or anything.
No,
I don't care that much.
Yeah. I lost my joint, dude. My joint's gone.
Didn't you smoke it?
Did
you smoke it?
I want to say I put it out part of the way.
I couldn't tell you.
I lost it, dude. It's gone.
It's a disappearing joint.
Oh, that actually is pretty cool. That's exciting. That's okay. We'll find it
mystery.
Later. So yeah, we actually had the footage of the people that called 911 to get the welfare check on Britney Spears. This was 3 people that were live together on like TikTok or Instagram Live or something. They're doing a group live, and they were all talking about like, we need to save Britney. She's crazy now. We wanted her free, and now that she's free, she's fucking nuts. So they called the cops and did it on live, so that way you could hear the conversation. And usually that conversation will come out because of like the Freedom of Information Act. You could file it, and then you could get the recording of the 911
like the actual
call.
911 call. But these teens were...
They leaked it.
Yeah.
They were like the SoundCloud rappers of 911 calls.
Yeah, they were recording the 911 operator, what do they call them?
Dispatcher?
Dispatcher, yes. Yeah. And they were kind of rude. Like they were, like the dispatcher's like, are you related to Britney Spears?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no. And they're, say we just want to check on her welfare.
Yeah.
And then she's like, all right. And then they're like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to send someone over there? She's like, I'll pass it along.
They're
like, what does that mean? What does that mean? You're gonna who are you passing it along to? And it's like, I don't think the dispatcher owes you any answers.
Yeah, they can't just tell you put you in the loop on the whole investigation.
Exactly.
Yeah, and send you PDF files.
Privileged information.
Yeah, that's classified. It's an open investigation. Like, it's an active, ongoing thing. You can't know about that.
You can't.
But we were going to play that for you guys. We have this video. We have it all set up. We're going to play it. Turns out it's from January.
Yeah, it's a different incident.
Welfare check.
I mean, you got to figure that there's like weekly welfare checks on Britney Spears at this point, just based on her behavior or lack thereof. Sometimes she just drops off, which can be concerning. She's vanished, and then sometimes she's just posting something fucking completely batshit crazy on Instagram or whatever it is. So I would figure there's probably semi-regular welfare checks being done for Britney Spears and probably her dogs.
Yeah, and there was that thing where like she moved to a new house, and then she kept uploading videos at her old house, even though she didn't live there anymore. And then people were all like, oh, these videos are old. They're fake. They're like re-uploads.
You had that public freak out in the restaurant before her husband left her.
Yep.
And then her husband left her. So, I mean, she's got, presumably no handlers now.
Yeah.
She's just living.
Then who answered the door? Maybe her doctor? Maybe she has a live-in doctor like Elvis?
I mean, we just don't know.
No. But
hopefully Britney's all right.
Yeah, hopefully she's good. Maybe we could title this video somewhere in our shocking title about how Britney Spears dances with knives, that we have the 911 call of people requesting a welfare check. But then, because technically we talked about it, we do have a 911 call. It's just not the right one.
I mean, are people really seeking out the 911 call for that, though?
No, but when I looked up the Britney Spears wellness check thing, that was on the list. And then I was like, oh, shit. And it pulled me in. And then I grabbed it. And I had a lot of things in my queue. Because I don't know how you do YouTube on the computer. But do you ever watch YouTube on the computer?
No, I mostly watch on my TV.
Okay, so when I watch on the computer, what I do is I'll go through my page and I'll find videos I want to watch and I'll open them in new tabs. And then I'll stack up 5 to 8 tabs. Mm-hmm. Then I'll start going through. So that way I got a nice solid stream of content to watch.
Okay.
I'll build myself a queue.
I like it.
Manual queue. Instead of adding them to a playlist or making the queue how YouTube would make you do it.
Right.
And what this is really good at is World Star Hip Hop. If you go to World Star Hip Hop, you can curate yourself the sweetest playlist so quick because you know how the videos just populate like crazy. Long ass list of videos.
It's been a while since I've gone to World Star. I didn't know that people were still doing that.
When I'm really bored, every once in a while, I'll go to World Star and I'll watch just a bunch of crazy shit.
Do you have to use the Wayback Machine for that?
No, but it does the same. It's the same as Reddit. It's all the Reddit videos that go up on crazy fucking videos and shit. But I guess it's like Black Reddit, like how they have Black Twitter.
Are you allowed to phrase it like that?
I don't know. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
So you build yourself a queue and then you watch it along the way that you built it.
You're watching these videos, yeah.
So I found this video of the 911 call and I already had 6 videos in my queue, but that one got pulled up to the front.
Oh, okay.
So that's how much I think people are going to want to see it.
It got bumped. All right. Well, I mean, if it bumped in your queue, then who's to say it won't bump in your queue?
Yeah. So if you watch this from a bump in your queue, we're sorry that we didn't provide you with the real 911
Yeah, we're just
call.
Lying.
But that's journalism,
but
baby.
You're still watching, so hopefully you enjoy something about this video, even if it's not what we technically promised you.
I'm sure that with the new Apple update, you can just find the Britney Spears section of a YouTube video. So they might have not listened to the beginning and just skip to this part, the Britney Spears part. Yeah. And if you did that, then I urge you to go back to the beginning because we did play the 911 call. This is a bit.
Yeah. Yes.
We do have the actual 911 call.
Yep.
So you want to get into the big news? Big news of the show?
Yeah, definitely get into the big news. I mean, this is kind of exciting, kind of unexpected. It's definitely news. You might say it's big.
It is news. It is big. And that is the reveal of the new voices of Rick and Morty.
Oh, that's it?
Of the titular Rick and Morty. Wait, what were you thinking?
I don't know. I thought we had like an actual big news story or something to reveal.
That is big news.
I mean, big news for Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
That show.
Yeah. But I mean, it also has a lot to do with Rick and Morty. Okay, for one.
Yeah.
It has a lot to do. Fuck, I didn't know you were counting. Now that you're counting, I have at the most 2. It has a lot to do with cancel culture, which I don't think that Justin Roiland is a victim of. But it has a lot to do with. Those are really the only 2 things I can think of.
It's still news.
Yeah.
It's still news. The Rick and Morty's voices have been replaced. Now, I was under the impression that they were going to use AI technology.
Yeah, that's what they said at the beginning.
I think so, and I wonder if they do have the technology to make that happen, and maybe it just wasn't up to snuff. But in any event, they went out and cast some real-life voice actors, did they not?
Yeah.
2 different people?
2 different people, one doing Rick and one doing Morty. And then all these characters that Justin Roiland used to do throughout the show. He voiced 30 characters or whatever. they're all going to be new people that they're going to bring in, I'm sure, like little sub characters.
Probably more expensive that way, to have to bring in all these different voice actors as opposed to just Justin Roiland, who's probably paid for just one position that he was doing.
Absolutely. But Justin Roiland, because he was co-creator, he might have been like on a percentage-based thing.
He's probably still seeing some of that money.
Yeah, for sure. He's still getting paid. But if he was on a percentage-based thing and he was getting like 30% of whatever like revenue was coming in because him and Dan Harmon were co-creators, then after a while, he probably was getting a huge chunk, and just not having to pay him all of that can pay for multiple people, I'm sure.
That's true.
But yeah, I thought that they were going to use AI. They didn't use AI. They went with two people who they're keeping their identities secret.
Are they?
Yeah. They haven't announced who they are, and a lot of people are saying because of threats.
You figure they're going to have to be credited, right? Like, I'm sure that's in like the Actors Guild or Voice Actors Guild.
Yeah,
like,
they have to be credited.
Yeah, they have to be.
But I'm sure they could sign something that like would waive those rights. Yeah,
possibly. We might have to bring Natalie Coldwater in to get her expert from the legal sense. But
that would be funny to write. Like, what's Rick and Morty on anymore? Hulu? Is that their?
I don't know. Honestly, I think
Adult Swim still.
Yeah, I think they're probably on Hulu. It's still on Adult Swim. I haven't watched it in like a year. I don't think I watched the whole last season.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit out of the...
So we should email Adult Swim as Natalie Coldwater and demand that they release the names based on this protection and law that they most likely signed some sort of agreement to.
What are you hiding, Adult Swim? What are you hiding? Maybe it is AI and they just don't want us to know.
Whoa, maybe it is AI.
They're
maybe
lying.
And that's why people are like, oh, it sounds off. It sounds weird. And they're probably like, you and I have done our fair share of AI, voice prompts, chat bots, image makers.
Yeah, oh yeah. We've explored the whole world of AI extensively now.
And there's a lot of things that you try to do and it can't really pull off.
Yeah, just it's not quite up to your lofty expectations.
Mm-hmm. And if you word it a certain way or make the prompt like a certain type, then it will get better and closer, but won't quite do what you want it to do.
Yeah, like remember we were messing around with UberDuck for a while, and that would give you the ability to clone all these celebrity voices. And it would sound all right, but really the only one that sounded super convincing that I found was E40, and that's just because E40 like talks, odd to begin with. But
yeah, it's not about his micro noises. It's about
with the resources at their disposal, and all of Warner Brothers or whatever owns Adult Swim, you'd imagine they have access to some stuff that we haven't even seen yet.
But I think that even AI at the point that it is right now couldn't do the stuttering, burping.
Yeah, and just the little nuances that they might want,
It probably all sounded off. Like, no matter what it did, even if it was really good, it wasn't anything close to the original sound. So, but, I mean, you would imagine that there would be... It's got to be intentional because there's probably hundreds of hours of Rick just making noises and stuttering and burping and they could just, cut that in and put it in post, but they chose not to. And I also think that Dan Harmon and the creators of the show might have intentionally left all of the burping and stuttering and muttering out of the trailer for the new season that dropped to get people talking about it.
I mean, it's got us talking about it. So if that's your goal, Dan Harmon, mission accomplished, bud.
See, I think that when the season starts, first episode, Rick's going to come out. He's going to talk. He's going to sound like the classic. He's going to be like, blah, blah, Morty, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do a Rick.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do Rick.
You're not a voice actor.
Not a voice actor. And I'm
going to do Morty.
Crazy.
Hey, it's me, Morty. It's me, Morty. Hey, Rick.
That's pretty good.
That's good, huh?
That was a solid Morty. So maybe next week I'll practice throughout the week. I'll get a Rick down. We could do a Rick and Morty. We could reenact something.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Do you want to see us reenact Rick and Morty? You know you do.
Yeah, sound off and let us know if that's something that you would be interested in. So we totally forgot. We have to start over from the top because we forgot like a major thing.
Okay.
So do you want to give us a countdown?
5, 4, 3, 2.
Yo, thank you for tuning into the Natural Habitat Podcast. Me amo Mikey Booyah.
Me amo Awesome Die.
Computer's here. Smart Plug is here. And FreqHandy is joining us in the computer.
Computer, stop!
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Just constantly interrupting.
And
Come on,
FreqHandy
real problem.
is in the Great White North up there in Canada.
Yeah.
He is tapped in live. He can hear us now.
Yeah.
We have him set up with his own little studio up there.
FreqHandy, say hello, bud.
Say hello, bud. Now we have him. We have a microphone. He has headphones. He can hear us. Now we don't have him piped into our headphones yet. We couldn't figure that out.
But
He's recording.
Listeners
The
can hear.
listeners can hear. He's recording independently. We're gonna take that. We're gonna layer it over our recording, and then it's gonna be like he's here. So
Okay.
he might have even been talking a little bit through the show.
Yeah.
But FreqHandy, we're sorry that we didn't give you a proper introduction.
Yeah, I figure he's got to be up there like doing some sort of training for the inevitable Canada-India war.
Plus, he's a nice guy. He's a polite guy, so he probably stayed quiet and just waited until he was introduced. So I'm so sorry that I forgot about that. FreqHandy, thank you for joining us. Canadians are funny. That's a stereotype that people don't really... I don't think Canadians are funny, actually.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some
good sense of
funny
humor,
Canadians. I'm trying to think of like a Canadian comedian.
There's got to be. Computer, who are some Canadian comedians?
I know about a number of Canadian comedians, including Ryan Reynolds, Martin Short, Jim Carrey, and Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I don't know. None of them are really funny.
None of them are funny, really.
I mean, like, honestly, I feel like they should apologize for Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, that doesn't count. He's not a comedian.
No, he's definitely not a comedian.
No, he's sometimes a comedic actor.
I mean, like Jim Carrey, huh?
No. But FreqHandy, we think that you're funny. You know, you're a funny guy. That joke that you told, maybe you told a joke. We can't hear him, so it's hard for us to like have a back and forth with him.
Yeah.
But hopefully he's putting in the right things, and this will all translate well to the listener.
Yeah, well, it'll all work out in post. Right?
I'll remember to put it in post for sure. This I will remember, because a lot of times we say we'll put it in post, never do. This I will remember. So he will be talking. Hopefully not over us right now. So, FreqHandy, he's up there in Canada, and there's a friend of his who has been getting a lot of viral fame recently on TikTok, and I noticed that a lot of people on TikTok, so I still don't peruse TikTok.
Yeah.
But I hear that a lot of people that were big on TikTok, it started adding all these like restrictions and stuff. Like you can't use power tools because it's like a violent act for whatever reason. So these people that had like, building, where they would like, do construction and shit. Now they're
losing their clout.
They're losing their clout. They're losing their plays, and plays are money. And there's some sort of like, because it tricks your brain into swiping, and a play is a play. Things will automatically play. It'll make it to where when you try to back out, it'll just restart it, and then it counts as 2 plays. So they're tricking these plays into counting up, turning that into ad revenue, which is going to be a huge lawsuit, I think. I think that a lot of these companies are all going to come together and sue all these like podcasts and Facebook and YouTube for how these videos will just like like you try to click something and like it'll play, and then you try to go back and then it'll start over, and then you try to leave it and then it opens it up in another window, and it gets you like 4 plays out of the one view of you trying to leave. You don't even want to see it. You're trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
But now you trying to leave counted as 4 views, and all of that adds up, and then they bring it to the advertisers and they go, look at all these views we got. You owe us X amount of money. It's CPM. It's like cost per 1,000 or whatever. Per 1,000 views, you get paid like $15. And then that like will add up if you have millions of views on TikTok, right?
I guess, yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So it's something like that.
Yeah.
So all of these TikTokers, they're getting banned for all these things because the terms are changing. So they're all uploading their popular and best performing videos on Reels, like Facebook and Instagram Reels.
Yeah, I feel like that's already been like a thing for like a while now, is like TikTok videos will trickle down into like Reels and Shorts now on YouTube.
No, it definitely has been, but I feel like there's a huge surge. Like pretty much every person that I see regularly on Reels is posting old content from their TikTok.
And you gotta cut out the watermark, the TikTok watermark, because if you post TikTok watermark on Reels, they're gonna bury that shit. They don't want to see that.
No, and you think you gotta crop it?
Yeah.
Or do you think that you could pay TikTok to remove the watermark?
I would assume you have to crop it. Gotta crop it, then pop it.
Crop it, then pop it?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But one of these people that has been trickling down is actually a friend of FreqHandy's, lives in the same area.
I mean, presumably. I mean, like, I feel like Canada is like a relatively small area, so probably most Canadians that are in like the same age demographic, roughly, like they probably are all loosely affiliated with one another.
Yeah.
I mean,
they all know each other, kind of.
Yeah, it's a close community. There's not really a whole lot going on, so I would assume FreqHandy. Do you know this guy we're talking about? This Old Time Hawkey?
Old Time Hawkey.
Old Time Hawkey.
Yeah.
We can't hear you, FreqHandy, but I'm going to assume you said yes. Yeah, so this guy, you want to explain what, because you told me about him, and like I found his content, and I'm a big fan now.
So Old Time Hawkey is a Canadian man. He's probably early 30s, I would say.
Yeah, probably.
And, or, mid to late 30s, and he just, looks good for his age.
Could be. We just don't know.
He has he's usually wearing like a beanie, has a long hair kind of thing. Like
he's got like a big mustache, doesn't he?
Big handlebar mustache that goes all the way down. And then he starts all of his videos with, "Hello, buddy.
Can't sleep, eh?
Can't sleep, eh? Well, why don't we enjoy a piggy pie sandwich with a hot chamomile tea and some Battletoads on NES." And then he'll do like a cool cooking video ASMR where he like makes this snack or makes the tea, and it looks all cool and it's shot all artistic, and his vibe is like all
it's very comforting. It's very comforting.
Like hunting lodge.
Yeah. Yep.
Wooden ducks.
Makes you feel like you're kind of just out in like the wilderness, and you've got a buddy with you who's gonna make everything better. You know?
And then he'll always show his dogs. And he'll go, "Good boy."
Yeah.
"Good boy."
Yeah.
All really quiet. And it's just so like soothing. And then it'll show the TV playing the game. This like old school game on this old school console on like a tube TV. It's like nostalgia, comforting, reminds you of your childhood. And then at the end, he like hands you the platter of whatever he made.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Here you go."
Yeah.
Try and have a good
It is
night.
very relaxing. I think he's from the Cedar Swamp is where he's.
That sounds right.
Yeah, Cedar Swamp.
I feel like I've heard him say that.
I don't know where Canada is or where the Cedar Swamp is in Canada, but that's it's got to be like dead center, probably. I don't know.
Probably.
Whatever.
I mean, the
Doesn't matter.
swamp, like everything kind of like goes down into the swamp. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean,
I don't know. Why do we want to bring him up?
I don't know.
He's just great.
Yeah, we just assume FreqHandy knows him. So
Yeah, so FreqHandy's friend, we want to say that Old Time Hawkey is actually connected to the show in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he's been getting a lot of viral fame, a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And he's also been getting a lot of brand deals and taking trips to all these hockey games. And he cooked breakfast in Yosemite thanks to Carhartt. And he just had to wear a Carhartt beanie while he was doing it.
Yeah, it's very wholesome content, so I'm sure he's getting lots of ad revenue.
He's a sweet guy. And until he gets, you know, Me Too'd and canceled for, you know, essaying somebody in 1992. Until that happens, then, you know, we're going to enjoy his content and we're going to promote him. Friend of FreqHandy's until
friend of the show by proxy.
Friend of the show until he's accused by proxy. And then when we'll revisit it if anything comes out about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're out there and you're not watching Old Time Hawkey, then you should watch Old Time Hawkey. You should check it out. I think anybody could appreciate it, no matter what walk of life you come from.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's about it.
I think we got it all in. Britney Spears, Old Time Hawkey.
There was one more thing. The major thing. You ready for the big thing?
Oh yeah.
Just a few days ago, massive leak of music, beats, acapellas, remixes, live cuts,
music videos
from Kanye West, 51 gigabytes to be exact.
This was stolen from his personal hard drive and released to the internet.
Mm-hmm. It had a unreleased album that was produced by Dr. Dre on there.
Now, do you think that possibly Kanye leaked this himself because he's gearing up for album release mode and he wants to, you know, obviously there's been a lot of negative connotation regarding Kanye based on the horrific things that he said earlier in the year and last year, you know, things that shall not be repeated. He's trying to get, you know, the public image back to like, you know, his music and not off his Nazi propaganda.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, last week we talked about how we thought that Andrew Callahan from All Gas No Breaks, formerly now known as Channel 5, now known as Nothing because he was canceled and sent away. We think that it's time for him to come back. We think that it's been long enough. It's okay for him to start to build up his career more. We would support him if he started making content, releasing content. And, you know, our math on that was that Chris Brown beat the fuck out of Rihanna.
Yeah.
And then everybody, you know, went and bought his album and streamed his music.
Yeah.
After that.
I don't know, you know, like, I want to forgive Kanye and I want to forget about it. But
no, but we're on the road.
Like,
we're on the road.
I mean, are we? Until he makes like a sincere public apology, I feel like, you know, we can't just forgive and forget. But at the same time, I'm willing to separate the music from the horrible person. So
we don't have to, you know, forgive Kanye, but we can forget what he did and then still enjoy Kanye.
Yeah.
Enjoy might not be the right word, and I don't want to say appreciate either, but indulge in Kanye is what I mean.
I mean, I still listen to most of his old music, and I'm sure there's a smidgen of good material mixed in with all the songs about Jesus and what have you. So
I haven't heard of a lot of that leak, but I really just wanted to bring that up so we could put that in the title too.
Yeah.
Kanye leak.
Yep.
So we talked about the Kanye leak. Technically, you can't get mad if we didn't go in on it too much. Because we just said we were going to talk about it, and we did. So deal with that. We love you guys, and we hope... Are we doing a gun and a knife thing?
Yeah.
All right. We love you guys, and you need to fucking subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to stab myself in the neck. Do you think anybody's going to subscribe?
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Natural Habitat Recordings.